Once upon a time, in a small town surrounded by green hills, there lived a young girl named Grace. Grace was 15 years old, with bright eyes. She loved singing in the church choir, reading her Bible, and praying. Everyone at church knew her as the little songbird because her voice made people smile. A sudden change. One rainy season, something happened. Grace's father lost his job, and her family began to struggle. They had to move to a smaller house, and sometimes there wasn't enough food. Grace stopped going to choir practice because they couldn't afford transport to church every week. Slowly, she began to feel sad and forgotten. Some children at her new school made fun of her worn-out shoes. Others invited her to play with them, but they didn't like talking about God. They taught her to skip prayers and spend evenings watching TV shows that made her forget about Jesus. Little by little, Grace stopped reading her Bible, and her prayers became fewer until one day she whispered, "Maybe God has forgotten me." A great reminder. One Sunday morning, her Sunday school teacher, Aunty Mary, came to visit. She smiled warmly and said, "Grace, I haven't seen you at church in a while. How are you?" Grace looked down. "Things are hard at home, and I don't think God cares anymore," she said softly. Aunty Mary knelt beside her. "Oh, Grace, God never stops caring. Sometimes life gets tough, but that doesn't mean He leaves us. Do you remember the story of the lost sheep? The shepherd left 99 just to find the one that wandered away. You are that precious sheep to Jesus, the journey back." Aunty Mary began visiting her every week. She shared Bible stories, prayed with her family, and encouraged Grace to sing again. Slowly, Grace felt her heart becoming light. She started reading her Bible every night and prayed, "Dear Jesus, I'm sorry I walked away. Please help me come back to you." One bright Sunday, Grace returned to church. The whole choir cheered, and the pastor said, "Welcome home, Grace." From that day on, Grace's voice became even more beautiful, not because she had a perfect life, but because her heart was full of hope again. The lesson. Grace learned something very important. Even when life is hard, God never forgets us. And no matter how far we wander, we can always come back to Him.